everyone, it's Jeremy. Welcome to the Slowest WAAAGH Turn 1, where we are playing Tzeentch. I feel a little like, I don't know, sacrilegious? Like wogging out when I'm playing Tzeentch, but, you know, whatever. It is what it is. There are probably introductory videos to this series already. I probably have done a nation overview and a pretender design, kind of like generalized early strategy discussion or something like that kind of situation already. So I'm not going to go too heavily into all of that jazz. I'm just going to jump into the turn. However, it is first turn, so those obviously generally don't have a lot going on, but we'll talk through a couple of different things. As per normal, in the beginning, there was chaos. So, I presume most people have read this 1,000 times by this point. If you haven't, feel free to pause and you can do that. And now the wheel has turned once more. Again, same scenario. Feel free to read through. We're gonna try to kill some people and ascend. Now, this is a Warhammer content creator Dominion 6 game. I'd say content creator. The majority of people involved are content creators, if not directly, like in the, you know, making YouTube videos on YouTube type scenario, either making like mods or those types of things. I think there are a few people here or there that aren't big content creators that are also in the game, but it is what it is. No, great. Happy to have more people, 100%. So all links to playlists and channels and things like that will be down in the description if you're interested in those types of things. Let's jump into Tzeentch mechanics. Now, again, most of these are probably we've gone through in the nation overview video, but if you haven't watched that video, we'll give a very quick kind of like concept. Got Path of the Warrior, Chaos Warriors, and Knights. Earn XP and can be promoted up into Chosen. Chosen being your sacred units. This is a pretty cool little mechanic. I'm a very big fan of XP mechanics in Dominions. I wish there were more nations, period, in vanilla, in mods, in everywhere that used XP mechanics, even if it's not just like, even if you're promoting into like a almost identical unit, not even like really changing the sprite or anything like that, just XP mechanics to be like, this is a heavy infantry, this is a veteran heavy infantry. Now obviously XP in the game already gives you rewards for that. I don't think it does enough to really truly signify like an individual that has been alive for 20 or 30 turns and fought in multiple battles, right? Like, hey, you have +1 attack skill. Cool, right? Like, it's much more interesting to get, like, new gear and that type of shit. It's very, very cool. Love this type of mechanic. Path of the Champion has a very similar style situation going on with Chaos Warriors and Knights, though the Chaos Warriors and Knights only have a single promotion. I didn't mention, but it's Chaos, so you could promote into a good thing, or you could not promote into a good thing. You could be Chaos spawned, and that's a good thing in a different light. So we'll see. So Path of the Champion is the same thing, but for your military commanders, but they generally have significantly more forms, right? So Aspiring Champion, into Exalted Heroes, into Chaos Lords, into Demon Princes. Now, each step significantly increases the strength of that unit, but each step also has the chance of turning them into a Chaos spawn, right? So woo! But they are Demon Princes, for example, are extremely powerful units. Chaos Lords, quite powerful in their own right. Even Exalted Heroes, pretty strong. It's pretty cool. And then Tzeentch, so really Path of the Warrior, Path of the Champion, those are mechanics for all of the Chaos factions in Sombre's Warhammer mod. The Tzeentch specific mechanic is the gates and secrets. So you accumulate secrets by having enemy provinces in your dominion. So you get a secret per turn for each enemy province, enemy temple, and enemy lab in your dominion. So if you're pushing your dominion into enemy territory, you're going to be earning secrets every single turn. Alternatively, right, like you can get 10 secrets immediately if you control a lab outside of your dominion. But when that happens, the lab is destroyed. So it is possible to kind of like be like, oh, this province has my neighbor's dominion in it. I can afford the gold. I'm gonna drop labs in here to just kind of farm secrets. And so each secret or each batch of secrets will unlock another gate. There are 9 gates. You can't get the 9th. You can get a bunch of gates open. Every gate you open pre-spawns demons in your capital. The demons level up as you kind of like get higher into the gates. You get more of them. You get better types. It's pretty cool. I've done some test games. I have not actually gone all the way up to like 7 or 8 gates, so I don't know all the shit that you get. I should probably do that, but it's some pretty cool stuff. The first gate is kind of, whatever. Second, third, fourth, it starts to build up power pretty quickly. It's pretty interesting. So it's a neat mechanic. You've got Tzeentch. And here is our beautiful little map. So, I believe I have already gone over all of these things, all of the mods that we are using in the Pretender design video, because that's generally where I try to keep that stuff. But namely, we're doing a lot of things like, Lucid's Thematic Gemburns, Rebirth mods. We're doing things like the monthly Gemburn mod, or the Gemburn prevention mod, basically. Which I think is very interesting, very, very interested to see how that plays out. And then, very, very interestingly, I think, we are playing, I don't remember what exactly, it'll be in the Pretender, because I have a whole list of the mods, and I have that discussed in the Pretender design. But we're doing the one where you get these wisps. Each wisp is worth 50 research, and you get to put that research, rather than having the random spread, or the random placed or full spread, you get to actually just put the research where you want it at 50 a pop, right? We have so many wisps because we have 3 magic, right? So we started with very high scales, specifically very high magic and luck scales. So let's talk about that, since that's kind of like the obvious initial thing. Oh, why am I like this? No. Okay. Hear me out. There's a plan. There's an intended actual purpose. I know some people saw this and was like, this motherfucker's immediately site searching. Yes, I am. We are immediately going Thaumaturgy 3 for Augury, right? And then we're actually going Evocation 3 for combined reasons, partially for Arcane Probing, but also partially for Fireball and or getting Flare along the way, right? And that is because of the build we've taken, and specifically because of Tzeentch mechanics and Tzeentch spells. The key one being Contact Daemon Prince of Tzeentch, which is 50 fucking fire gems, right? So our intention, the kind of like design, is out of the gate, get Augury as quickly as possible, Augury the shit out of our lands so that we have every single fire site we possibly can get. Use that and trade for gems to get Eternal Pyre. So that we are, in theory, every other turn, because we're not going to get to 50, but we could get to 25, 30, right? The intention is every other turn be able, not necessarily have to, but be able, because there are other things we could do with fire gems, be able to pop out, really, a Daemon Prince, right? These things are very cool, very scary, very, very immortal in Dominion. So we're kind of going to try to play a little tall, play with our Dominion a bit, and see how it goes. So, obviously, all of this I've discussed more in the Pretender design. That's what we're doing out of the gate. We're not going to get Thaumaturgy 3 immediately. I think it's calculated we'll be 50 off, right? Which means we will get it in a few turns after we start recruiting some mages. So that's the first thing we're doing as far as recruitment goes, is we're going to be recruiting an Acolyte of Tzeentch. These guys are coming in at 14 research, thanks to our Magic 3. So they're going to get us there pretty fucking quick, right? Which is actually a little bit of a problem, because our options for getting an Augurer are either rolling randoms on the sorcerers, which we do have a 1 in 3 chance, so pretty decent chance of getting a individual who can do augury, or splurging for a sorcerer lord who's gonna have fire 2 out of the gate. That's a hard sell. Probably we're gonna be fishing for sorcerers. If we get really unlucky, it's not gonna be great. Our augury will be slowed, but it will get there eventually. So, is what it is. So that's the main whole scenario research. Did I change that? Oh, no. Right. So we are prophetizing Paul, the Marauder Chieftain. Paul being, I'm not going to explain it. If you know, you know. If not, you know. Wings. Goddess. The theme was rock bands, and I have probably discussed this even more, again, in my Pretender design video. So, that's the generalized concept. So we're prophetizing Paul over here. The starting army for Tzeentch actually isn't that bad. I actually don't think the starting armies for most of Sombre's stuff are bad. Most of them are pretty good. These Marauder guys, not the greatest thing on the face of the planet, but they do have javelins. They got 4 javelins a pop, 14 damage javelins, perfectly acceptable. But more specifically, these Marauder guys are actually pretty alright. 12 HP, 13 protection, 12 defense skill, have a Khopesh that hits for 18. This shield is a Prot 16, layered on their protection 13 already, with parry 4, so you're in the range of 13 to 16. Correct. Brain. Not incorrect. What is wrong with my head? Sometimes my brain is just like, I'm feeding you the correct answer. Shut up, Jeremy. Take it. Marauders are actually pretty interesting. As you recruit, so the starting army just has the base Marauder, right? With Khopesh. As you recruit more of them, get a bunch of other types, right? So the Marauder coming out of the recruitment screen is this Marauder with an axe, hits for 20. Pretty fucking good. 20 on a 12-9-7 is pretty damn good. And these guys actually come in other variants: axe shield, Khopesh shield. The halberd hits for 25, or occasionally Forsaken Marauders who actually have 2 attacks, one of which is a magic attack. So that's pretty neat. These guys do expand fairly well. Obviously, they will get chewed up by particular things like barbs or heavy cav, and some of the specialty ones that you can run into. But generally speaking, they trade fairly well, right? So very, very decent. You can actually just spam these guys out for the first 5 or 6 turns and do fine. I honestly think that they do perfectly acceptably. There are some other units that I think are a bit better, switching into different expansion modes depending on what you're looking for. The Marauder Berserker being one of them, and then obviously Chaos Warriors being very good at 22 protection. faction, right? So there's that. Anyways, that is what we are doing immediately. Other thing that I like to do just to kind of like spend time on first turn is because we don't have a lot going on, is take a look at the map and then potentially also check the Thrones of Ascension. So in conjunction with that Thrones of Ascension thing, we can see there ain't no fucking Thrones of Ascension near us. So that's immediately awkward, right? Like, you would kind of assume that you're always going to see it in a, you know, if you're in a 12-person game with 12 thrones, you're kind of like, yeah, I'll have a throne somewhere in my starting-ish territories. Such. However, that might just be based off of what we can see and the way this map was generated. So oftentimes in these generated maps, they will equally place the thrones. So you could have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So there might be a throne here, might be a throne here, might be a throne here, might be a throne kind of situation, right? So I think that is likely what is happening, and we just can't see it right now. So aside from that, we've got some interesting borders that we can kind of like see the specs of. We can see this concept of a river running down here. We actually have 3 entries into the underground near us, which is kind of neat. We've got these mountains over here, all over this side, and then we've got mountains over on this side as well. So a lot of rivers, a lot of little different borders. We got 2 farmlands that are pretty easily in our borders, and then this big farmland mountain river over here, which we are sending our scout towards because we might try to work towards that sooner rather than later. Especially with the concept of there being some sort of ocean here in our way, which we don't have a very good route for getting underwater, and some sort of river. I think if we can basically just grab these 3 and be happy. The hope is that this river, I guess there's a bridge, so it's not really going to cause any issues, but maybe this mountain will cause issues for whoever might be over here. We'll see. The assumption is that there are... Oh, I don't know how close we are. Are there 3 between? 1, 2, 3. So there could be a person right there. So we might not get Traveler's Rest. That depends. So we'll see, right? It is what it is. It would be something nice to get, but yeah. Kind of depends on how evenly we are spread and if there are any other things in the way. So what else do we got going on? Thrones. Got 12 thrones. Need 12 ascendancy points, so you need 6 of the 12 thrones. Pretty even. Nothing big. All level 2s. Throne of Bureaucracy. Kind of a whatever. I do think Throne of Bureaucracy is actually really cool. I don't know that it's super cool for us. It does give us conflict bonus, which that is kind of neat. And the auto PD inscription I think is fun, but I don't know that we care about it too terribly. Right, the order +1. I don't actually know how that works with. I guess yeah, it'll still work, right? Because you know, Tzeentch, the Chaos factions have like locked, capped turmoil, right? I presume this just overrides it though. A Throne of Bureaucracy, Throne of Gaia, so some growth. There's actually a lot of growth going on here. Got the Crystal Throne with Crystal Mages. This is kind of interesting, but not a super big deal to us. It would be nice, but we actually have access to Glamour and Earth, though we would have access to Higher Earth if we were able to find that. or higher earth out of the gate, so that would be kind of cool. Throne of the Artificer, which gives a construction bonus, which is neat. Throne of Fire, which gives Adepts of Purificaton, which the attack skill +3 is kind of nice, and the fire ritual range is kind of nice, but the Adepts, we've already got fire mages, so less of a good thing for us. Silver Throne, Adepts of the Silver Order. These are actually kind of nothing burgers for us, because we already do this. I'd take the 200 gold, though. Throne of Air. Air Shield's cool. Again, kind of whatever on the Air Mages, but Air Shield is cool. Throne of Knowledge. Oh, I swear to God, if I get another Throne of Knowledge and I just have to read... It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Another growth throne, so with the Throne of Life, right? That's pretty interesting. Throne of Death. Outer Throne, which gives magic +1. That is actually really cool, but I think puts us in the horror mark range. I can't remember if it's magic 4 or magic 5 that puts you in horror mark range. I believe that's a thing. I could just be having a fever dream. And then Throne of the Moon, which is more growth. So there are 3 growth thrones in this fucking map. So that's kind of interesting. So, yeah, it's kind of a neat little situation. We will go over the nations, more specifically on the next next episode, on the next turn, when we do everyone's pretender, or not pretender, profit. I say everyone's profit, but presumably most people are gonna make a profit. So, but real quick, we've got Athel, Loren, Nehekara, Bretonnia, Skaven, Karaz-a-Karak. We've got the 2 orcs, which I cannot remember. It's Bono's tribe and Black Crag. I was gonna say I can't remember which ones they are, but I just remembered. We've got Middenheim, we've got Itza, we've got Khorne, we've got Tzeentch, and we've got Nagaron. So that is what we've got going on. I think that is going to be the end of this video. Just really a quick precursor, jumping into things, getting things started. Really looking forward to this game. I'm not as per normal. I'm not trying to go hard. I'm just trying to have fun. Just trying to have a good time. And I love this mod. This is probably the best mod. One of, if not the best mods in the Dominions community. And yeah, have a blast playing it. So hopefully we will have a good time and we won't get put out by a rush on turn 12. Oh, I also didn't mention this. I should mention this. I'm recording these turns, not live, not like actively as I am doing them, but same day or next day, right? So that is new for me and might lead to some complications, but I'm trying to avoid other complications like we've had in the past where we've got like a whole bunch of battle report bugs and that type of thing. So hopefully gonna keep the battles fresh and accurate, and we'll see if I can actually continue that. So thanks for hanging out. That's it. Turn 1, Slowest WAAAGH. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.